Good morning, I'm Jason and Zalutz with PowerPole. We're going to be doing an install with the PowerPole Move ZR on a Phoenix 721 Pro XP. Today we're going to be choosing the mounting location. We're going to mount the Move ZR, we're going to install the propeller, we're going to be installing the info display, installing the charge remote cradle, we're going to install all foot buttons, and we're going to be doing our transducer wire management and hooking it up to power. We will also have video chapters down below to jump to wherever you need assistance. So here we are, we're getting ready to mount the universal mounting plate to the boat. We have all the provided hardware here in the kit. Once again, we've chosen not to use the rubber grommets because of the flat surface on the Phoenix 721. Tools required would be a 7/16" wrench, 7/16 socket, with maybe either a deep socket or an extension, a number 3 screwdriver for the 1/4 mounting bolts for the UMP, and possibly an impact with a number 3 bit. So here we are choosing a mounting location. This is the provided Move ZR 45" mounting plate. These would be 1/4" holes that you would drill out for your 1/4 mounting bolts. And you would also want to ensure that you have the clearance in the front of your boat. So we have this perforated line here with these cutouts to where right now we know we don't have clearance for the mounting of the trolling motor. So we're going to move forward and we're going to pay attention to these first 2 mounting holes. So we have clearance right here. We will have about 1 inch to 1.5 inches clearance from trolling motor shaft to the rub rail. And then here we can see that we have no problem putting these front 2 mounting screws into the very edge of the bow of the boat. So we have just finished mounting our UMP, our universal mounting plate, to the deck. Ensure that you have followed all the instructions for the mounting of the UMP and ensure that you have this dimpled edge forward of the boat. Now we're laying the Move ZR 45" on top of the UMP, and we're now choosing our mounting location on top of the UMP. We have multiple pre-threaded holes for mounting locations. I'm going to find a couple here and we're going to line it up and we're going to put a couple of the bolts in, and then we're going to deploy the motor to make sure that we have clearance. We're going to demonstrate the shaft clearance that we're looking for. We have total shaft clearance here. We have chosen to utilize the holes in the UMP to spread out our mounting locations, which ensured plenty of clearance for our rub rail. Okay, so we have finished mounting our Move 45" ZR to the UMP. We have your tie-down strap. This comes in the box. It's not installed, so we're going to show you how to install this. We're going to remove the 6 side plate screws, remove the side plate. We're going to insert the strap through the port U channel, go through the starboard side plate. We're going to take our strap, go through, line up our side plate on the side with the top bumper. So we have finished the installation with the starboard side plate. And there's your tie-down strap installation. So we just finished mounting our tie-down strap. We're going to install the TechFlow propeller now. So you have an anode with a nut, a shaft pin. You will have 2 shaft pins coming out of the box. We're going to take our shaft and we're going to make this go horizontal so the shaft pin does not fall out. We have the TechFlow prop right here. We have the back with the shaft pin location. We'll push that on. We're going to thread this on by hand. You will eventually need a 9/16 deep socket wrench to tighten this up. So we have tightened it with our fingers until we get to the nylon. Ensure that you don't put this on with an impact or a drill. And there we have our TechFlow propeller installed. All right, so here we are. We're getting ready to install the foot pedal for the Move ZR. We mounted our graphs to make sure that we have clearance. We also wanted to make sure that we have total clearance for your heel. So we're going to drill the holes to mount the foot pedal. We have a inline fuse holder we're going to install. We have our fuse holder. So here we have rubber grommets to raise your foot pedal up off the bottom of your recessed foot pedal area on your front of your bass boat. We have our 4 mounting screws, and then we have our butt connector to wire in our fuse holder, and then we have 3/8 terminals and number 10s. Here we are installing the fuse holder. All right, so we just finished mounting our Move ZR foot pedal. What we've chosen here is our wire routing. We've chosen to use a custom 3/4 inch grommet. You guys might be familiar with that style grommet. We use these on our hoses here at PowerPole. A lot of people may be using a stainless clamshell to route their wires in. You might have a, depending on boat manufacturer, you might have a routing area to put it into the bottom of the boat. So we've drilled this 3/4 inch hole. We're going to run the power for the foot pedal into the boat, and then we're going to insert that grommet for a clean install. Here is our Move ZR info display. We have a 1/4 inch drill bit here to ensure that we can put the wire through the boat. We have a 7/64 for your 2 back plate mounting screws. We will drill our 1/4 inch hole in here to run the provided power cable through. We'll mount our 2 holes here. We have chosen this location on this Phoenix 721 Pro XP to be right under the rear of the Move trolling motor. The info display will hibernate when the trolling motor is stowed on the boat. When it is deployed, it will turn back on. So this is a perfect spot for this because the only time you will need this display is while you're using the motor. So we have our mounting plate here for our ZR info display. On the backing of this plate, there is an up and down forward arrow on how to mount it. We're going to run our power wire through. And then you'll clip this in from the, get it seated in the bottom, and then clip into the top. All right, so now we're pulling our power info display wire out of the front of the boat. We are going to add and butt connect the provided fuse holder that has a 2 amp fuse in it. We're going to butt connect this into the power line and then connect this to 36, 24, or 12 volts. So now we're making our butt connection to the power for the info ZR display. We're going to crimp and use the provided butt connector. You'll put this in line in your power harness. We'll take a heat gun so we don't burn the wire. We'll add a ring terminal, number 10 ring terminal. We're going to be installing this to 36 volts. ring terminal. And there we have properly made all our connections for the ZR info display. All right, so in this stage, we're doing our transducer routing. We have this Lowrance active target mounted up here for forward-facing imaging. Active target transducer cable mounted to the shaft in the position to where you won't pinch it between the stabilizer bar here. Rubber transducer mounts that the angler has provided. We have our 2D coming out of our ZR head here, that you have your 2D transducer installed in the bottom of your move. We're going to leave a little bit of slack here for steering. We're going to start here in this first hole for transducer wiring and cable management, and you're going to go every other hole, so we don't interfere with any of the locking mechanisms, and we'll have enough here for full deployment and stowing of the motor. So in this segment, we're going to be wiring up our charge cradle and our wireless rechargeable remote. All right, so these foot buttons, Powerful designed them in one orientation to help you. The back of the foot button here has an accessory for a small screwdriver to replace a 2032 battery. If your buttons may be low or they're not working, that'd be the first thing to check, but they're designed at an angle to access them with a foot. So this is the lower portion of the foot button. Here we're wrapping up our final portion of the install. We have an anchor lock button. We have mounted the active heading over in this area, which is two features. It will be a double tap button to turn on the prop and active heading, and you can choose to mount them anywhere on your deck. So we're getting ready to hook up power to our Move ZR 45 inch to the Phoenix 721 Pro XP. Every boat may be different, so we supply you with two different types of ring terminals. We're going to use the 1/4 inch terminals because the power up in the front of the boat here are two number 10 screws. I'm going to go ahead and add these to the positive wire. Both wires are black and your positive does have a red stripe on it. So here we are wrapping up our power connections for the Move, the info display, and the foot pedal. We have a 3 amp fuse on your foot pedal, 2 amp fuse for your info display. The recommended sequence would be taking your smallest gauge wire first, going to the next higher gauge with your main power in the bottom. All right, so we've wrapped up with all our power connections, and now we're reinstalling the front valve mount. We're gonna have the Lowrances put back on, and we're gonna go into powering up the Move for the first time. So we're all done with the install. We're getting ready to apply power to the Move ZR. All right, so we're applying power to the Move. We're going to see the head go into the initial boot up process, the foot pedal calibrating. The display will turn on. The display, after it boots up, will go into a hibernation state and will reawake when the trolling motor is deployed. For all things on the water, please check out the On the Water Move ZR user guide.